There's a motivational quote that's often seen bouncing around the internet about the opposites of anything is hard and you have to choose which one. So being rich is hard, being poor is hard, choose your hard. And with this rising rate and inflationary environment, you have to choose your hard. You can watch your favorite news outlet and all the talking heads, but nobody really knows how bad it will be. You know, if you look at what the Fed has just done by raising the rates by another 75 basis points, that's 0.75%, because they didn't expect inflation to be as bad as it was at 6.3%. And that excludes food and energy for April of 2022. That's huge. So what to do? Hope for the best, plan for the worst. Now, if you're familiar with the word runway, that's the amount of money you have to keep operating before you're out of it. You can extend it in a number of ways, like if you have a starting cash balance of, let's say, $300,000. And let's say that you've just raised $2 million, your starting cash balance is $2.3 million. And let's say we start that in January of this year. So if you have an ending cash balance of, say, $1.9 million in June, that's a 6-month time frame. You can look at two items. One is your net burn rate and your gross burn rate. Your gross burn rate is how much you can spend without thinking about income or positive cash flow. Most people like net. I like gross because it's less hopeful. I'm a pessimist because as an entrepreneur, I wake up every morning unemployed knowing that I gotta make it happen. So if we take that 2.3 and you subtract the 1.9 and then divide that by 6 months, you're losing about $67,000 a month. Now you take that $1.9 million and divide that by the $67,000 a month, you're going to be out of business in 2.25 years. Now, this helps you plan your next goal for fundraising or understand how much you need to get out there and sell your service or product. And there's all kinds of charts out there that you can tell you about your financing sequence, and I think the website is just fucking googleit.com. You'll find it. Paul Graham coined the term default alive, which is understanding when you'll achieve profitability before running out of money. And if you can't default, you need to raise capital, cut costs, and or figure out ways to generate revenue. It's pretty likely everyone's going to get pretty picky. Banks, bridge funds, mezzanine, venture capital, nobody's trying to die right now. And you watch for announcements on LinkedIn, for example, and so-and-so is now at XYZ company. And that's because their fund closed and they had to give their money back to all their investors and walk away because they couldn't place the capital. Discipline is a thing. Cutting costs, letting people go, putting stuff on hold, you know, like Forrest Gump, it happens, right? I had to put my speaking platform on hold for 6 months because my dad had entered hospice and I had to take care of him full time. You know, I was washing linens 3 times a day, you know, like every entrepreneur does. And you got to think about the kind of company that you are. Are you asset heavy? Are you high or low margin? Are you hard tech, which means are you trying to solve a problem with hardware and software? Do you have a high dependency on a particular industry or client? Money is going to get tighter and it's going to get harder to get. Whether it's a private fund or a bank, they're going to ask more questions and change their metrics to ensure they protect themselves as well. So don't take it personally. And most importantly, think about the dummies in your industry. How are you going to get their market share? Because there's guys who think things are going to stay the same, that we're just going to get through this in the next month or two. And hopefully you can pick those companies up for 20 cents on the dollar. So if you need access to capital, business, or commercial real estate, you need help with some strategic planning or mediation, click on the QR code and give us a call today.